unfortunately, grief theory has been heavily influenced by pop psychology and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and her stages of grief, which were really stages for dying and not grief. They were misapplied to grief. And unfortunately, people still think that's actually the way you're supposed to grieve. You know, the typical stages of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. It's very American to have these kind of stages that one works through, and then one feels like you've gotten an award. It's like closing your circles in your Apple Watch, right? You like, oh, I worked through all the stages, I'm good. But that's not the way grief actually works. And a lot of contemporary grief theory over the last 20 to 30 years has actually demonstrated that those stages are very unhelpful. They can actually impede the grief process, and they can make it really difficult to move forward with a loss. So I want to just note that. But so in light of that, there's tons of cool stuff happening in the technological realm to help people. So you're seeing all kinds of new technologies on smartphones. There's like grief chat groups now that are available where you're connected to someone that lives in your area and you can offer virtual support through your chat on your phone. There's some really cool websites where you can kind of sign up. There's also really cool like technological innovations in terms of now you can hire a death doula, which is kind of like a birth doula, but on the other side. So if you know you're dying, you want to put together a death plan, you want to plan your funeral, you want to basically make things easier for your family, then you hire a death doula who walks you, but also walks your family through this dying process. They help explain what's coming. They help explain what you'll be going through. And then they also help your family grieve afterwards and kind of process all the different choices available. They help keep them from being taken advantage of in a very vulnerable state. And then there's just super cool like death technologies. One of my friends, Michael Hebb, he founded a website called EOL, End of Life. And it has like over 400 death providers now, all in one little marketplace. And they offer like courses and they contract services. And I really love the latest disposal options. So I worked with a company this past year called Returnaba that turns people's cremains into wearable jewelry. So you turn the cremains into carbon, you turn the carbon into a diamond, then you cut and color the diamond, and then you wear them as a piece of jewelry. You can also turn your loved one into a stone. Partingstone.com is one option. Spiritpieces.com offers like really cool glass pieces. You can turn your loved one into a record, into a tattoo, or even a firework. So there's tons of cool things happening in the death and grief realm. And there's lots of really cool innovations in terms of overseas. In China, for example, for Qingming, the holiday where you go and it's a tomb sweeping holiday. So you clean up the grave and you make offerings. Because China's graveyards are publicly owned by the state, they then offer an app to cut down on transportation, to cut down on environmental waste. And that allows you to virtually visit the deceased, leave offerings, make prayers, et cetera, et cetera. And we're seeing lots of cool innovations like this in both China and Japan, Hong Kong and Singapore. Just really neat things happening in the whole death and grief world.